Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a comprehensive Valheim farming guide so that you can make the best foods in the game. The first thing before starting I would recommend is to build a small base in the plains somewhere where you can put down a bed and make sure that while you're building you have a relatively safe place to spawn. The plains are dangerous and even the most experienced of players can often get overwhelmed by a sudden spawn of 6 fuelings. So, play it safe, build a base. The next thing you want to have prepped before you start farming is to get your seeds. And you're going to need to find seeds from a few different biomes. Carrot seeds are going to be found in the dark forest. The turnip seeds are going to be found in the swamp, and then the barley is going to be found in the plains. Before you set off on any expedition, make sure to bring your best food, tons of arrows, portals if you have them. There's nothing worse than dying across the map without a portal to get back to your body. And anything else you would bring for a normal expedition where you want to make sure you're going to stay alive as long as possible. The carrot seeds are little white flowers that you can find in the Black Forest. Turnip seeds are little yellow flowers found in the swamp. And then when you get to the plains, there's multiple places you can find barley and flax. Sometimes you can find them in chests in these fueling towers, which you can clear out pretty easily with a bow. Just make sure that when you're destroying or trying to kill them, you're not destroying the whole tower so you can't get up to the top. It becomes a pain and then you have to drop a workbench and do all this shit to get up into the chest at the top. There's usually a ton of fuelings in there. Sometimes they'll kill themselves in the tower, which is kind of nice. To find any barley in the towers, the next stop is the villages. There's small villages and large villages, and taking them over can be difficult by yourself. A good strategy is to kite a few away at a time and take care of them, let your stamina regen, get healed up, whatever you need to do, and then go back in, get a few more, and then complete that until everything in the camp is dead. At nighttime, more are going to spawn in the area, so you want to be careful there. You also want to mind the locks. If you accidentally hit a locks, you'll have another angry thing on you, and then always keep a watch out for mosquitoes because they will spawn at the worst times and ruin your day. After the village is clear, you can go in. They have many chests on the ground and also little cultivated patches of land where you can find barley and flax growing that you can gather right there. Otherwise, it'll be already harvested for you in the chests. If your camp does not have any, keep exploring the plains until you find a camp that does. Just be mindful that you're not taking on a camp that is too big for you to take down on your own, or bring a friend. And watch out for the fueling berserkers. They are very large, almost troll-sized, and they can do a ton of damage to you and the terrain. So do not take those on unless you are sure you're going to be able to kill it. It'll take off half your health in a go. Once you have all of your seeds, you're ready to make a plot in the plains to be your farmland. It's important to choose a spot wisely away from mob spawns so that you can be safe while you're building. You want to make sure everything is fenced off completely so that mobs from the outside won't get in. You're going to want to make sure everything is covered in workbenches. If you see here, when you try to place a wall, you can see if there's not a workbench by wandering around and trying to place things. The white circles indicate the range of the workbenches. If you notice a gap, plop down a workbench. This prevents monsters from spawning in the area. It It does not seem to affect mosquitoes, so be aware that if you're going to be making a large farm, the mosquitoes will still happen, unless you make sure to build your farm away from the mosquito spawn points. So take some time to sit in the plains before you start walling off an area. Make sure you know what mob spawns are around, and build your farm according to what you would like in the area. I like putting my farmlands near a lox spawn, for instance, so I can also get lox meat when I'm out farming. It's useful to sit in your field as you're building in night so you can note where monsters are spawning and how they are getting into your field. And that way you can make sure that any holes in the fences are filled in and any spawn points are covered by workbenches. Now it's time to talk tools. The main tool you're going to be using is called the cultivator. That is what lets you turn land into farmland. It is what lets you plant any sort of thing, be it barley, turnips, carrots, a pine tree cone, really anything that can be grown in this game. You're going to use this cultivator tool with the 3 prongs. The next farming implement that I would like to recommend is the bronze polearm, called an atgear, maybe? This is optional. You can hand gather your barley if you want, but if you use this polearm and use the second attack, the middle mouse, it does this cool spin and it will knock down all of your barley and you can run by later and pick it up. It's kind of fun. I use that, and it also has the bonus effect of killing mosquitoes. It's important to note that you should only use the hewing spear on barley and flax. Hand gather all of your carrots and turnips. Be gentle with them. They are delicate. You can murder them horribly if you hit them with anything, or if a mob hits them with anything. I have wasted entire fields fighting viewlings in the middle of my carrots. It is sad days. I highly recommend also putting in a little tool shed by your farm so you can repair your cultivator and hewing spear or anything else right out in the field so you don't have to keep running back and forth. I also use little item stands to store my tools on the wall, and that way I don't lose anything and I can make sure I have problems with chest organization. It's just easier if it's out in the open for me. I also put in a ton of chests for storage. Now that you've gathered all of your grains and veggies, it's time to figure out how the heck you're going to process them all. And for this, you're going to need some mills, some windmills. They aren't very expensive to craft, but in order to place them, you're going to need to have an artisan table, and that requires you to have killed the 3rd boss, Motor. Motor's tears are just stuck in there eternally crying. I don't know how I feel about that. With the artisan table, you can also make a spinning wheel and turn flax into linen threads so that you can make the best armor currently in game, the padded armor. It's a nice blue. I enjoy it. To cultivate the land, it'll stay cultivated forever, so you can just keep planting, watching it grow, harvesting, and then processing without having to redo your fields. It takes 2 to 3 days for barley and flax to grow, and about 3 days for your carrots and turnips. They won't mature in the same order that you planted them. It seems that there is some randomness about it, but if you just wait 3 days, most of the things will be matured at that point. Once you get flour, cooking really opens up and you get some fantastic recipes that you use in the cauldron. It's at this point where you get some of the food with the best stamina and health in the game. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, post them below. Happy Valheiming!